Nico Pitney joins us on the phone. He's a reporter with the Huffington Post. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being with us. This exchange has gained a lot of attention in the last 24 hours. What has been the main issue that's come up?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you're reading. I mean, I think I've gotten obviously lots of letters and emails and messages from Iranians, Iranian Americans, people who were happy to see a question like this asked of the president, and I think it was hopefully I thought it was a laudable move on behalf of President Obama to want a question that came directly from Iranians. It's obviously difficult right now for there to be kind of direct contacts in that sense, and of course on the other hand, you've got some in the media who have kind of a process problem with what took place, and so that's another thread of this.
Let's talk about the substance first. How did you solicit comments from Iranians? How are you in contact with them, and then how did you choose your question?
Well, we did it through a variety of ways. I initially just asked for people to send in emails. Once I was contacted by the White House saying that they might be interested in receiving one of these questions I was getting, I decided to do my best to get as many potential submissions as possible. So I had a few Iranian American contacts write up a Farsi language translation of the request for questions. We posted it on Twitter. There's a Farsi language social networking site called Balatarin, which agreed to post my request on their front page. So we had a ton of questions submitted there. Facebook we also used, and as I noted, email. So we tried to be very broad. Now, of course, it's still very few Iranians are able to use the internet. Those who do, they often just don't want to talk about anything associated with these demonstrations. So again, it is very courageous for them to be submitting the questions, the ones who did, and I really appreciate it.
You mentioned that there's been a bit of a buzz surrounding the question because of the way it was phrased. There have been some critics who've claimed that it was sort of a setup, but you have said that's not the case, that the president did not have a heads up about what question you were specifically asking, correct?
Yeah, of course. They were very professional about it. They did not have any interest in, and nor would I, of course, have told them what the question was going to be. Their main interest was I mean, as I said, I had posted a notice on our website. We've been live blogging the unrest there for over, almost 11 days now. And I had said, I'd like to ask the president a question on behalf of an Iranian. They contacted and said, well, we'd be happy to have you do that. But otherwise, it went along like any other question, and I felt like it was a tough question, so I was happy with how it turned out.
Your publication is, of course, Huffington Post, online, strong online presence. Do you see the online media as being able to move in this new direction of interactions with an audience, getting questions in a way that perhaps more traditional media aren't quite ready to do yet?
I mean, I think what's happening is a really significant moment in one sense, because what's going on our site is, it's a reflection of how spread out news is these days online. You can't rely on just the newspapers or the cable news networks for information, particularly now that the foreign media is in a blackout in Iran. You've got to rely on all sorts of new tools to help get you firsthand information from the ground. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, down the road, and the process is very communal. I mean, I'm certainly benefiting from the contributions of so many volunteers who are out looking for information, passing it along, volunteering to translate documents and stories for me, or watch video for me that's in Persian and providing me information. It's a community news gathering operation. I think we also, of course, try and maintain journalistic standards in the sense that we don't post material that's not confirmed, or if we do, we're very clear about the fact that it's, that we can't verify its accuracy. But I think, we try and provide a really wide swath of information because the information is out there in a whole bunch of places. It's spread out across the board, and it does require a large kind of group effort, a volunteer effort in many senses, to track it all down.
Well, Nico Pitney, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And Nico Pitney is a national editor at the Huffington.